This is Obed, and it's my pleasure to have one of the living legends of India be with me and to just have a talk with him. And his name is Professor Kancha Ilaiah Shepherd. Whole of the India knows him, but I think few of the people in United States and different parts of the world know him. Who is he? And he doesn't need any introduction. He has written a lot of books. Why I'm not a Hindu, post-Hindu India, Buffalo nationalism, and there is a book in my hands, God as a Political Philosopher. He has written, and recently uh, he has published his autobiography. So we'll be having a chat with him. We'll be having talk with him, and so welcome, Professor Kancha Ilaiah, and
Thank you, Obed. Thank you for this interview.
yeah, and it's a pleasure to have you. I know you are the busiest person on this planet Earth, traveling everywhere and speaking in every conference and teaching and preaching everywhere. So it's really an honor to have you. I just don't have words. I'm speechless about this interaction. So, Professor Ilaiah, Professor Kancha Ilaiah, sir, I just want to ask you. I have seen your, I have been reading you. I have been reading your articles. I have been reading your books. I have been reading whatever the stuff it's on the internet. I have seen you preaching. I've seen you teaching, and it's really a joy that brings me. And your spirit of enthusiasm, you were the way you create enthusiasm in the people. That's remarkable. And I just wanted to have a quick chat with you and have a few questions for you, sir. Sir, first of all, I would like to ask you, who are you? To introduce my friends, who are you? Where you come from? And how's your journey till now? So,
Well, Obed, I was born in a very small village called Papayapet to shepherding parents called Kancha Kattamma and Kancha Komaya. So my father and mother were totally literate, generations were they were totally forest born with sheep and goat, and then maybe perhaps about 3, 4 generations back, they must have settled down in the proper village structure. So from there, I studied under the single teacher under the tree school in my village till class 5th. Then on, I moved on to a nearby village where there was class 6th, what you call in America grade 6. Then till my 11th grade, I studied in my taluka headquarter high school. All that was in Telugu medium. Then I moved on to my district headquarter called Warangal, and where I did my pre-university course 1 year, and then I did my graduation BA with English literature and history, political science from that college. Then I moved on to Usmania University, did my MA there, MPhil there, PhD on Gautam Buddha's political theory. So my journey has been a very long journey. I was a student activist as a communist young boy because there was a lot of feudal oppression in our villages, and the caste system also was very rampant and very bad. So the untouchables, what we now call Dalits, were being treated like cattle and slaves, even in my own village.
hmm,
So the feudal oppression, the see, I fought the Brahminic hegemony when I was 15, when my mother died, because after the funeral ceremony, after on the 11th day, he asked all kinds of things. Then he said, "Touch my feet." Then I rebelled against him.
Hmm.
So from there on, I never looked back to Hindu system. I was with the civil rights movement and democratic rights movement. Then, as the journey of life moves on, in 1986, there was a massive attack on Dalits in Andhra Pradesh, in one of the villages. So, 8 people were butchered. And at that time, I took a stand that, this caste system has to be fought.
Hmm.
So the local Shudra rulers called Kammas have killed 8 Dalits. They were agrarian labor. So the left politics were not handling it properly. They were not recognizing Ambedkar also. Then gradually I came into Ambedkarism. I studied Ambedkar and then Gautam Buddha and then ancient Hindu literature and subsequently Mahatma Phule. So by 1990, I was a pro-reservation and leader while teaching in the Osmania University in the Department of Political Science. So from then on, my battle with Brahmanism, the upper caste casteism, uh, became serious. So then came in 1992, demolished the Babri Masjid, the BJP RSS forces clubbing everybody into Hindu group and saying that we are all Hindus, the Muslims are our enemies, the Christians are our enemies. So I then realized that no, there is no way in which I and the Brahmin can belong to the same religion. So I went back to the villages, looked at the whole system of life from childhood to death. Then I wrote Why I'm Not a Hindu.
Oh, okay. So let me pause you there. So what do you mean like this untouchable? What do you mean with this by this Shudra thing? What is this caste system? Like in United States, the common people's understanding, like we are brown people, we are like brothers and sisters. We don't have any discrimination and all. So what is this caste system and all? And what is the Shudra? And you said about untouchable. You're talking about this Hindu thing, and you wrote one book called "Why I'm Not a Hindu." No,
Yeah, see,
so yeah, in world's
then,
perspective, like India is a Hindu country, a majority are Hindus, so all Hindus are brothers and sisters, and you come up with the idea that why I'm not a Hindu.
no,
So,
I am the first Shudra
hmm,
to say that I am not a Hindu.
mhm,
Mahatma Phule fought Hinduism very seriously, but categorically he did not say that he was not a Hindu.
hmm,
Though he wrote a book, Samadharma, all his own religious text, uh, uh, but he did not say that he was not Hindu and Hindu rituals. So finally, his dead body was also burnt like any other Hindu. A great man, a great wife. Ambedkar uh, said, I was unfortunately born in an untouchable family, but then he also accepted that the untouchables are Hindus.
hmm,
So, so I was born an untouchable, in other words, untouchable Hindu. I will not die a Hindu. So I will take other religions. At that time, in the beginning, he did not indicate, but later on, he chose Buddhism. But what I found was in my serious research and investigation in rural life, there is a phenomenal uh, life difference between A Brahmin who is a priestly community and said to have been born from the head of a Hindu god, and a Shudra who is said to have been born from the feet. And in between, of course, the Kshatriyas from shoulders, the Dalits, the Vaishyas, Gandhi's caste from thighs, and then the Shudras from the feet. The untouchables do not exist in that description, and obviously they assume that untouchables were not created by God. So they came uh, uh, without the permission of God. That is a very strong notion. And then you are liable to treat them as untouchable. Once you think that God did not create them, but they came. So, though Ambedkar says that they were rendered untouchable because they were beef eating Buddhists, therefore they were rendered untouchable. However, my study shows that the see in 2005 when I came to America, uh, once in 2002 I came to America, went around, saw the situation. 2005 I came to America. And at that time, we went to Capitol Hill. And also we went to, along with my friend, I went to Los Angeles, Hollywood. And we asked the Hollywood film directors, we met them, some of the actors, like a famous black actor, Forrest Whitaker and his wife, and a lot of producers, directors, and so on. So they said, what is this untouchability? The question that you are asking. How do one section of people treat another section as untouchables?
Although they are people
Color wise,
color.
they look
Yep.
the same.
Yeah.
Height wise, they more or less the same.
Yeah.
And facial features are the same. Nose, so they understand the race question because the color, the facial features, the air, many things differ between the white and black. So the black they condemned and they brought them as slaves. So that they understand. But how do people treat similar people as untouchables in the same village, same town? How do they? So this is a very difficult social system created. And how did they create? They created on two, three grounds. One is the Brahmin understanding of God and creation. Unequal creation, perpetual inequality, and untouchables remaining, untouchable Shudras remaining. Who are the Shudras? Born from the feet according to them. But there is a fundamental work based distinction and discrimination. So the untouchables were doing the most useful village cleaning work, village protection work, cattle rearing work, and leather technology building, and the physical exercise through which they could defend. So all these tasks were defined by Hinduism or the Brahmin literature as untouchable tasks. We should not touch. And who are the Shudras? Shudras, of course, spiritual in their text, they said they were born from feet of the god. But in practice wise, they till the land, they look after cattle, they are carpenters, fishermen, fisherwomen, they are pot makers, they are food gatherers, they so the whole artisanal production, land clearing and harvesting, all that production work they do. So what Brahmin Pandits, what they call the Brahmin spiritual theologians did was that any production work is bad. God does not accept this. And so the Vaishyas should do the business without putting their finger into work, hands into work, and the Kshatriyas should rule without involving in production. The Brahmins must engage with God and priesthood and running the temples and learning only Sanskrit and not allow others to learn. That was one condition. So untouchability has various levels. Your work base, your birth, and then your sometimes your color and complexion are slightly different because this Dravidian and Aryan and the Indo-African settlers in India by the time of Harappa city civilization in 3000 years BC, agricultural production, animal domestication, city civilization building, and major cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, it were Indo-Africans who built. In other words, our ancestors, the ancestors of Dalits, the ancestors of Shudras, and maybe in the big mixed blood, the Vaishyas, Gandhi also looks dark. And though Narendra Modi is also Banya, he doesn't look dark. Uh, so the mixation of blood took place. Because if you look at Maharashtrian Dalits, they look like Aryans. There is some color. So there is color mixing up happened. But in South India, you can see more Indo-African color character of the Harappans, who were defeated and attacked, whose cities were destroyed by Aryans, and they wrote their Rig Veda and four Vedas. So they were driven out or killed, and our ancestors mostly settled in South India. So that's our background. Now the caste hierarchy, most of the 99% of Dravidians, except other mixation castes like North India, they were declared either as Shudras or as untouchables. The remaining were in Uttarakhand. So it is like the Christians and the Muslims think that they are descendants of Abraham.
Okay.
My thinking is we are descendants of Harappa.
Okay.
Like Abraham,
Okay.
who was also a believer of a one God, abstract God. That's how they built the cities.
Okay.
They did not get into the idol worship forms. They developed literature, but that did not survive because of the Aryan destruction. So there could have been a relationship between common heritage relationship between Abraham and Harappa, because the syllables, name syllables are similar. So Harappa was a human being, and his name was given to the city later. Mostly human names were given to cities so big, like your Solomon Temple, your sovereign cities.
Okay.
So we caste has color complexion problem, but more as the mixation happened, the work, dignity of labor. So the Brahmins were not touching anything productive, but taking the resource of food and wealth and using for their leisure-based survival. They were living leisure as life, whereas our people were living labor as life. So that I brought out in why I'm not into any category. So caste is a philosophical notion created with an idea that the priestly class would live completely free of labor and a status of highness and education without allowing the rest of the communities to get educated. So this kept us more backward, as a result, even the nation more backward than other parts. For example, the way the Abrahamic descendants emerged as literates, as they also suffered slavery and master thing, but nothing like our struggle for for several 7,000 8,000 years from the days of building of Harappan civilization. But 1500 years from city of Harappa was built in Indus Valley region to writing of Rig Veda, we were very good. We were very civilized. We were far advanced, even Mesopotamians, Israelites, and so on. From then on, our collapse began. So, if you compare with the five texts of Moses in Bible, so the Harappans could have been more or less on par with that without their being enslaved.
Oh.
Right? The Moses, the Abrahamic people were enslaved by Egyptians, but we were not enslaved. So we were enslaved 1500 years later by Aryans.
Okay, just bring it up. What do you mean by Aryans? It's like in Western, like it was like, is that Nazi is coming up again or something? So,
No,
like, what is Aryan? Is that an
see,
ethnic community or?
no, Aryan race is a race that was settled after several millennia of African migration to Middle East and European continents,
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
There was a color transformation and mixation. So Aryans became brownish people with black hair. So it is a long evolution. And we will have to look at the Darwinian understanding of how they evolved, apart from the God's creation story. So these people seem to have settled down in present Iran area and up to Germany. So you see the strong roots of Aryans in Iran region and Germany, and they migrated to Indian subcontinent in 1500 BC area,
Okay.
or slightly earlier to that. And they have a long nose, and then uh, uh, you know brown color. Then they don't have curled hair. So all this, they declared their race as superior. So the color discrimination theory began with the Aryans only. I don't think European whites did that in the beginning. Now the evidence of this is available in Hindu Brahmin literature, even in uh, later Vedic, the word Arya, and but more fundamentally, the Aryan superior theory has come out very well in Hitler's writing, Mein Kampf.
Okay.
So what Hitler says, which I think Indian Aryans believe now, uh, which are operating, were operating around BJP, RSS, even in Congress and other parties there. Racial purity is what Hitler says. Aryans should mate only with Aryans and procreate only similar Aryan children. Then he said this is natural to a superior race, like animals. Horse mates only horse. Elephant mates only elephant. Uh, Cow and bull belong to the same race and mate, right? So similarly, Aryan should mate only Aryan and procreate only that race child. Now, even then, racial mixation happened because it happened. Now, say for example, you are married to a white woman, and your children will be mixed race. You look like an Aryan to some extent. So,
Oh.
so the mixation happens, right? Yeah.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, it's fascinating. So, you said you are not a Hindu, in why I'm not a Hindu, and you explain it in detail why you are not a Hindu. And in your writings, I have observed you relate your stories mostly from the Old Testament stories of the Bible. Like you, why I'm not a Hindu, you wrote about the shepherd psalm of King David, Psalm 23 from the Bible. And uh, and in many of your speeches, you have said that I discovered my ancestor as Isaiah because your last name is Elijah.
I like.
Ilaiah, yeah. So, like, why only Bible? Why didn't you like? What is your view? Like, why didn't it the revelation came to like? Why don't you seek your roots in Quran? Because it's also an Abrahamic literature. And what about the Buddhist Pali literature, which is more ancient than Hebrew literature or Arabic literature? And when you trace your roots from Harappa to Abrahamic faiths, and so how this connection happened, like Isaiah, Elijah, and
Yeah, look, my name Ilaiah
yeah,
with the spelling Ilaiah
yeah,
was given by my parents.
uh-huh,
They don't know what is this Christianity, what is Bible. They
uh-huh,
were semi-nomadic and village settlers.
uh-huh,
This name came from my local god, my family's local god. Each community has a local god, local goddess. So, as I explained in my autobiography called From a Shepherd Boy to an Intellectual, I'm a shepherd because my parents were shepherds. Their parents were shepherds. Generationally, we were taking care of cattle, particularly sheep and goats, and building a sheep wealth, sheep economy. What in biblical language is called the moving well. Sheep and goat are moving well.
uh-huh.
So they, as people migrated, they also moved, and the wealth remains with them. So, so when I took the name shepherd, in a confrontation with the Brahmin community leaders, that this name Ilaiah is a stupid fellow's name. You are all primitive guys. We are Sharmas, we are Shastris,
Mhm.
we are Chatterjees, we are Banerjees, we are Mukherjees, Dwivedi, Chaturvedi. I said, no, if that is the case, I'm a shepherd. I add to my name in English, and my profession is globally more respected than your names. And my name will become more popular than your name because the world will understand who Shepherd is and what these occupations are. So, and by then I read that Jesus is known as Shepherd.
Hmm.
Prophet Muhammad is also known as Shepherd. He was shepherding for some time.
Mhm, mhm,
And I read later that God Himself is known as Good Shepherd,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
But when I grew in my family, it was an occupation for us.
Yeah.
We didn't have the idea that it is God or it is Jesus we never knew or any prophet Muhammad we never knew. So when they were humiliating me with this name Ilaiah, when I was in MA, I had three options.
Hmm.
Either I had to change the name with a big process of judicial name changing,
Hmm.
or I add up something to it. But even if I add up my caste, respectability was not going up like the other. We are similar castes. Or my caste name is known as Kurma. If I add Ilaiah Kurma, even if they call Kurma, it doesn't make much. So I was very frustrated. It was like a suicidal kind of situation. So one day I was reading a book in Osmania Library, looking for a book on Karl Marx. I was a serious Marxist student and reading a lot of things. So from a distance I saw a book with an author named Isaiah Berlin. This name sounds like my name. So spelling is same, and I actually read from distance Ilaiah Berlin. I ran for it and took the book. So this Isaiah, I read the introduction part, and it said that Isaiah Berlin was the greatest living philosopher of that time. He was in Britain. And if Isaiah Berlin could be greatest living philosopher, what is the Sharma Shastri, this Reddy, this Chatterjee, Banerjee, Dwivedi, who knows? Yeah. Isaiah. Then I carefully looked at where did this name come to him also. Then I found out Isaiah was a great prophet of Bible in 7th century BC. So I was looking at names. My father's name is Kumaraya. My grandfather's name is Mallaya. Then generations Ayya has been there. Amma Ayya, my mother Amma. Kattamma, Ellamma, Mallamma, Lingamma, my grandmother. Komuramma, Singh. So then when I was reading Bible, I find several names with Ayya. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Zechariah, Nehemiah. So number of names are there among blacks from this. Whites don't go much for those names. But Isaiah Berlin was a Jew from actually from Russia. They migrated to England and he became. So then I became very confident. Okay, I will continue my name as Ilaiah, and I was writing with that name with all the battlefield in front of me. And now I am Ilaiah Shepherd. See, now I have come to a feeling that why were the similarities between our names and Bible names? Now, I studied Buddhist literature quite carefully because I had to do my PhD. You have Rahul, you have Siddhartha, you have many names, Sudhodana, Maudgalayana, so on and so forth. But there is no Ayya in Buddhist literature. And in Vedic literature, no Ayya. Either Indira or Ram, Krishna. So these are equally unfamiliar names to us, like Jesus. We don't know these gods also. In my childhood, we don't know this Hindu gods also. So entire Vedic civilized literature does not show our names in that. But Bible shows our names, similar names. So I looked at the reason could be that Bible was built on the agrarian economy of Israel and sheep and cattle and goat and harvesting grain, wheat, and then growing fruit, uh, uh, that all kinds of agricultural animals, even buffalo was there in Israel. Cow was there, bull was there, buffalo was there, donkey was there, horse was there. Uh, Jesus used donkey to ride. So then I looked at the old South Indian agricultural economic even. So the similar agrarian economy existed.
Hmm.
So our spiritual system did not get literary construction like Bible of the Jews and Gentiles and others. But we have oral evidence in South India that the names indicate a history, the
Hmm.
names indicate a culture. You can see how Muslims name their people very easily by name, how Christians name, how Buddhists name, how Brahmins name, how Kshatriyas name,
Hmm.
and how we name.
Hmm.
So there is this, our names, our ancestral names has a lot in common with the ancestral Israeli names.
Hmm.
So that made me think that no, their whole argument that Christianity is foreign
Hmm.
to Indians is wrong. In fact, Vedic literature shows more foreign character, foreign culture to us. So, in my autobiography, the first chapter on names tells the story. So, is what is this Ilaiah and why? How is it close to Isaiah? And then why cultural? So, in one way, by my time, I find the name roots in Bible, and when I go back to ancient period, beyond their Rigveda and all that, Harappa and Abraham have a common cultural heritages.
Hmm.
So civilizational building through physical work, through brick making, wood crafting, shepherding, and they domesticated buffalo, a black animal, to do our agriculture, give milk, which has not survived in any other country. So I think a lot of similarities I found.
Yeah. Yeah. So in one of the
I asked about Quran. Even Quran I looked at.
yeah.
Quranic names have no common structures with our names,
Hmm.
whether it is Muhammad, whether it is Iqbal, or
Yeah.
uh, no, Ismail.
Hmm.
No, in the rural pre-Muslim India,
Hmm.
they never show that route. So
Hmm.
the Arabic culture
Hmm.
seems to be quite different from the Israeli
Hmm.
culture. And in Arab area, there doesn't seem to be much agriculture
Hmm.
as it was in Israel, right? So, so the agrarian route, the production route is the key for cultural. No, why? After all, why do people build the same culture of eating similar animals' meat?
Hmm.
Right? We Indians don't know what Middle Easterns were eating or Israelites were eating. Greek people were. All of us were eating sheep, goat, meat, and beef, fish. So there is a human mind's tendency of choosing the food and stabilizing it. Tribals did that, and
Yeah.
so even similarly, the name pattern, the divine structural emergences, are common from certain lands to certain lands,
Hmm.
and different from certain lands to certain lands. Maybe I think Brahmin names have maybe having more common characters with Islamic. One should examine, but with ours there are no such things.
Wow. So in one of the statements recently, you in United States, you are in the United States here, and in one of the conference, you literally said you are, and I have seen you in India advocating for beef, advocating for buffalo, and uh, and this cow thing is going on, vegetarianism is going on, yoga and all. So, so like in the West, it is known like India is known for yoga, India is known for vegetarian, all India is vegetarian, whole India practices yoga and these stuff. So, can you like shed a light on it?
No, no.
Does
See,
that do we
the
did
question
you as
is
a like OBC, a Shudra, did you like Elias or any OBCs, the shepherds, they did yoga or they never did yoga or what's
no. The simple thing is,
yeah.
how did Indians live
Mhm,
from the days of Harappa to my life?
mhm,
What did they eat?
mhm,
As of now, 65% of our food is made, and uh, beef is eaten by many Dalits. Shudra, some who gave it up. At what time, how they gave it up, I don't know. Tribals eat, Muslims eat, Christians eat. They are all Indians. They are all Harappan. But the anti-beef campaign is only a superstructural. The whole ideology of BJP RSS, which includes Mahatma Gandhi's ideologies, that India should become a vegetarian nation.
mhm,
So beef is a symptom of that vegetarianism rules. Now, why I oppose this? Nobody does write on food culture in India. I write more. The reason is, if India is made vegetarian, people will die of starvation. Very simple. Now, pure vegetarianism as a food culture is not there in anywhere in the world. Now, why it started in India? It started with Jains in 7th century BC. They thought that killing animals is sin, and so killing fruits and other things is not sin. But drinking milk is not sin, but butchering one animal for food is sin. So this they came out. So this Jainism influenced all Banyas first, then later on Brahmins.
mhm, mhm,
Now I was carefully looking at, assume that there is a Jain nation like a Christian nation, America. I'm touring here. Uh, I've gone to California. I've gone to uh, uh, from San Francisco to Michigan to Washington D.C. to Dallas to New York and several places. Earlier, I've seen in Denver and uh, many other places. There is nothing like vegetarian and non-vegetarian in food here. Food
mhm,
is food. Some can choose one item, some can uh, add one item, leave one item. This vegetarianism, non-vegetarianism developed only in India
mhm,
because of the Jains. But Jains and the Banyas today and the Brahmins don't cultivate and produce food.
mhm,
They don't also take care of the animals, including the cow, which they are saying they worship. Now, the problem is Indian 1.3 billion population, can they survive with vegetables and dals? No.
mhm,
So what they don't realize is they in fact they realize they want to weaken the nation and destroy it with their own philosophy.
mhm,
Because unless people get sufficient food protein, children won't grow. The children will die. And no nation produces vegetables to meet all the food needs. And that too, an Asian country like India cannot produce. So my idea is, okay, if you don't want to eat, you don't eat it. But you cannot impose, you cannot take away the survival food of millions of people.
Hmm.
So that will kill them.
Yeah.
Uh, and this vegetarian definition is wrong. Non-vegetarian, vegetarian. There are meatarians, there are beefarians, there are fisharians, there are vegetarians. So as an Indian, I don't want my country people to die. And there is a Brahmin Banya conspiracy in maybe reducing the population, in weakening the nation, and maybe we will be easily defeated by China and Pakistan if we give up meat, fish, and even beef content in the food. If
Hmm.
they don't want to eat, they need not eat. If they want to worship whatever animal they can worship, but they should graze those animals and worship. They should not worship others' animals.
Hmm.
See, Brahmins want to worship cow, let them graze. Their children cannot sit in IITs, IIMs, here in Harvard, Cambridge, Oxford, write theories about cow sacredness. So we are a buffalo nation, we are black nation mainly. So you have no theory of anti-buffalo beef, but you have only theory of cow. You graze nothing. You don't even feed them. You don't even water them. So you have no right to create theories for which you don't work. So secondly, this yoga, we will be easily defeated by China because yoga is not a physical exercise. Our physical exercise model is working in the field,
Huh.
climbing the trees, climbing the mountains, going all the day along with sheep, goat. So we walk. The the Brahmins and Banyas, they were not doing this physical exercise of producing food, tilling the land, running after cattle, climbing the trees, cutting them, breaking the stones. All that they were not doing. So they were doing sitting under the tree and doing this body exercise, that body exercise. Otherwise, health goes to hell. So, but that nation cannot survive. Uh, the only exercise available for people to build Indian nation is running, tilling the land, doing agrarian work, climbing the trees, mountains, swimming. These exercises, if the nation gives up, only sits and does yoga up and down, and hands up and hands down, and so on, the Chinese will beat us with karate. Now, I don't want my nation to be lost to China or Pakistan. Pakistan human beings are growing taller because they are eating very protein food, though they are few in number,
Yeah.
though they are also poor like us. But look at their body, their tall height and all that. So because they are full scale beef eaters. So should I surrender my nation to their tomorrow they will also claim that they are a superior race, their height is different.
Yeah.
So once that happens, we lose the moral ability to withstand Pakistan.
Hmm.
So I'm a nationalist. I'm more nationalist than these guys who want to kill the Indian people by taking away our food.
Oh.
Yeah, they're strategizing. Mohan Bhagwat and these people, they're pure vegetarianism. If you want individual you, why are castes vegetarian? Why are communities? Why are religions vegetarian? What is this?
Yeah.
Non-violence? Can you live without killing the fruit, cutting it from the tree? And Gautam Buddha also said that you can cut, butcher an animal for food, but not for sacrifice. That's what he opposed. I know what Buddhism is. So I will have to defeat them on this ground. I've already written enough. Anti-national vegetarianism is one of my books, and a lot of articles. If if I don't defeat them now, my nation will die.
Hmm. So, last but not the least, Professor Kancha, you are you find uh, your roots in in your food habits, and you find your roots in Bible and biblical stories, and that's amazing. So you were an atheist, a communist, and then you were inspired by Buddha, and then now you are turning on to Bible, biblical, the God of the Bible,
No, I'm
and
looking at the
so
agrarian, the
yeah,
way
yeah,
Jesus as prophet worked and
yeah,
liberated.
yeah.
See, whom did Jesus liberate? Jesus liberated fishing community, Gentiles.
Yes,
Gentiles means Shudras,
Shudras. Yep.
right? He was fighting the Pharisees who were Brahmins,
Yes.
Sadducees who were our Kshatriyas,
Yes.
right? And carpenters, his father was a carpenter.
Yeah.
So I find the artisanal Shudra occupation in the entire community that Jesus mobilized, right? So I have an affinity with producing people.
Hmm.
And even God should be producer. God is a worker. I don't want a God who is lazy and doesn't work. So, God has to work for 6 days and God should rest seventh day. Therefore, my idea is that religions came to us in order to liberate from laziness, slavery, inequality, and give us the wisdom to produce more and more, live a comfortable life here, and after death, yes, heaven and so on. But my idea is that all Shudras in India, Dalits, if they think that they have, when they don't have the right to become priests in the temple, even after death, they cannot go to heaven. The same priest will not allow. Spiritual democracy and equality in the realm of God has to be practiced here in this life, on this earth. This is my kingdom of heaven, this earth, right? I must live a comfortable, happy life. Everybody should live. Nobody should be discriminated. Your color may be different, my color. Your height may be different, my height may. Your work may be different, my work. Man and woman must be completely equal. So I have a very strong will to fight, uh, more or less the kind of will that Jesus gave to his people. Maybe Peter, maybe uh, Paul, or maybe that. No, this inequality, this food cultural impositions, this cleanliness, uncleanliness. I'm impressed with Jesus when he said that what goes into your stomach is not unclean. What comes out of your stomach is unclean. So it's a beef or pork or whatever you eat. I don't agree with Muslims also. This pork is bad, this and that. Okay, that is their philosophical belief. I don't. Anybody can believe what they want, but they cannot fool the people. People have to survive with enough food availability and with their own production. Yes, somebody looks after cow, and my people look after buffalo. Somebody looks after pigs. So even if a Muslim opposes, no, I will not accept it. As much as RSS BJP is opposing cow issue, I will not accept. So I am a full Democrat in spiritual domain, food domain, and social domain, man-woman issues. So this, I think, is the foundation. I know I learned quite a bit from Gautam Buddha in this. I learned quite a lot from Jesus. There are certain elements in Prophet Muhammad and Mahatma Phule, Ambedkar. So I learned from Karl Marx. I learned from a lot because no worker should have unequal life.
So as Dr. King.
Yeah, Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
So I came to attend Ambedkar Martin Luther King study circle meeting in September, and have been going around. So it is a journey of mine to see that spiritual democracy, social democracy, and political democracy are the global order.
Yeah, yeah. So that's really amazing, and Professor Kancha, I have really I'm really speechless about your experience of life and the way you seek spiritual democracy, spirituality, and you are still on a journey. Now, where I
No, even
yeah,
the
and
Christian
so
world
in
has
the
to
Christian world, yeah,
has to practice spiritual
yes,
democracy to a
yes, yes,
logical end.
yes, 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 yes.
Right now, the whole problem between Catholicism, Protestantism,
Yeah,
different denominations, and man woman,
yeah,
I want to see that a day a woman will be a pope.
man,
Yeah, a woman will be Archbishop of the Anglican Church.
yes.
Right? So, everywhere a woman should be American president, a woman should be, of course, we had a woman prime minister. So, it should be that which
Yeah.
actually God's wish.
Wow.
One should think on those lines. Thank you for
You, yeah, you really changed my perspective about God, and you really opened my eyes that I should read the Bible through shepherd lenses, and I should. So I'm so thankful for you, and sir, thank you so much for being with me,
Thank you
and
very
it
much.
was a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, so, brothers and sisters, this was Professor Kancha Ilaiah Shepherd, and it's a blessing to have him. And we are thankful to Mr. Jagdish Bankar, sir, who is like father figure of Ambedkarite Buddhist Association of in Dallas,
And in whose
and
house this
and
interview?
we are interviewing in this in his house, and
Dallas.
yeah, and we are thankful for his hospitality and all, and we have. That's why we have a portrait of Baba Saheb Ambedkar in Dallas. So it was amazing, and thank you, Professor Kanchala. May God bless you.
Thank you very much,
And
brother. Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you.